and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight.
Hello and welcome back to ProRevenge. Before we start, please scroll down and click like and subscribe. This means that you will get more videos from me. Please like and subscribe, and it will really make my day and is free. Thanks. Worst client I've ever worked for. A quick disclaimer before we start. I work as a software developer at a small company that specializes in very niche software. We basically configure that product for a customer and create custom functionalities. We can either work in a project or we can get outsourced to a client. Getting short-term highly specialized developers is quite hard. About a month ago, my colleague from sales called me and told me I'm switching projects. I was being promoted from an internal project to working with a client. It was going to be an outsourcing, meaning I would work for the client and they'll be handling the whole project. I was really happy, since that experience would count towards my commercial experience. She pointed me to a colleague that's been working with them for the past 3 months, and I immediately called him. We talked for a bit, and then I got to know that this was the worst client my company has ever worked with. They were a multinational corporation that decided they were going to configure and implement the software our company specializes in themselves without any experience at all. I don't think I have to explain to you how stupid and irresponsible that decision was. On top of that, it was their first project in Agile. It's a project management methodology. From what my colleague told me, I got that they were constantly mismanaging the project. The tasks we were supposed to develop would be constantly incomplete, and every time they'd get angry email from their business department, they would blame the developers, not the project management. Not gonna lie, I was scared shitless. After just few days of working with them, I realized nothing my colleague said was exaggerated. I was in shock. All of my tasks were incomplete. No one would answer my questions, and I would constantly have to stop working on something because I was lacking necessary information. And the business started asking questions. Then it started. Daily meetings turned into interrogations on why I'm not working. What is the reason? Is it because I'm not good enough? Just 2 of those meetings made me create an Excel file where I'd write down all of my work done for the day, all the blockers and possible issues, just so I could have receipts. The project management was so bad I was in disbelief. After working for them for a few weeks, we realized there is no fucking way this project was going to meet the deadline, and that our contracts were going to be prolonged by a month. That's when I got this idea. Immediately I emailed my sales team and asked for a planned leave for 2 weeks starting the same day my contract was supposed to end. They had no issues granting me the permission, since that leave would be past my contract, and since it was a slow quarter we didn't have any upcoming projects anyway. Few weeks go by and the hell starts breaking loose. Deadline is just in a week and 90% of the work isn't even tested. Testing was handled by the client. I get tons of emails asking me to leave my current tasks and take care of very urgent changes that had to be done as soon as possible. Client immediately requests prolonging my contract by another month, and my sales team informs them about my 2-week leave. Their teams accepts it. Then comes the day before my leave, and here's a conversation with one of my project managers. PM. Hey, so from what I can see here, there is no way we can meet the deadline and we'll be working the weekend. I'm sure, but I don't work on the weekends. And on top of that, I'll be on my planned leave. PM. What the fuck do you mean you're going on a planned leave? Me. Well, first of all, I requested this leave few weeks prior, and second, your team agreed. Technically, starting tomorrow I'm not working for you, and my new contract with you starts after my planned leave. PM. This is unacceptable. I'm going to message your sales team and demand cancelling your leave. Me. Sure, but remember you'd have to cover the costs of cancelling my trip, including my mom, which would come out to around $4,000 PM. Yeah, we'll see about that. He hangs up, and after 15 minutes I get a forwarded mail chain from my sales team. It's worth mentioning my sales team was already fed up with this client's bullshit. The PM is enraged. My sales team explains to him that my planned leave was accepted by the client and that starting tomorrow I'm not working for them, as my next contract starts in 2 weeks, and their demand for cancelling my planned leave is invalid. PM asks to change my contract start date. Sales team agrees. In around 2 hours I get another forwarded email chain. My contract start date get changed within 2 hours and I get another chain mail forwarded to me. Now he's the kicker. Client's PM asks to cancel my planned leave, since now my contract starts tomorrow. That's the rough response they got. Sorry, but ops planned leave was planned 5 weeks prior to your request and we have informed you about it on multiple occasions. Looking at all the emails we have sent you, and the information provided by our developers regarding project management, current situation was foreseeable, and you cannot request planned leave cancellation of our employee because you didn't manage to distribute his work. Thank you for contacting us, but we are unable to help you. After that I got a couple of angry emails from my PM telling me how unprofessional of me was to take a planned leave like that. Last email was just basically him begging me to cancel my planned leave, but I couldn't care less, since I was already packing for my trip. For the next week I've been getting forwarded emails from their business department. Turns out they have discovered that all of the delays were due to project management. Our sales department got an apology email that the client's company is very sorry for all the inconveniences caused by their local team, and informed us that the whole project management team was fired on the spot, which was forwarded to me with a simple: trick me into smelling your stink finger at a party, I'll trick you into smelling your own stink foot. Before I get started, I have to admit that this story is actually quite simple. It does not involve any elaborate plans, no public humiliation, not even any first-hand knowledge of how my revenge played out, but deep down, this might be my most satisfying moment of vengeance ever. This happened years ago when I was in college. I was at a small party at a friend's house with maybe 20 or 25 people. My friend who lived at the house had his cousin, we'll call him Carl, visiting for the weekend. I don't think there was anything inherently bad about Carl, but he was really annoying and antagonistic. Basically, Carl just had a very loud and obnoxious personality. He very clearly enjoyed being the center of attention, thought he was way funnier than he actually was, and simply couldn't help himself from being a drunk douchebag. So, we had all been partying for a few hours and there was a group of about 10 to 15 of us left sitting around in the living room playing a drinking game. I was sitting next to Carl and he looked over at me, took a drink out of his cup, and then got this weird look on his face, and said something along the lines of, "Whoa, what's in this drink? It smells really different, but super familiar. I just can't put my finger on it." Then he raised the cup up to my face with his finger near the rim of the cup, and said, "What's that smell like to you?" Well, it smelled like shit. So obviously I got a disgusted look on my face, and pulled my head back away from the cup. Carl started laughing hysterically, and yells, "You just got stink fingered, son." Everyone thought this was pretty hilarious. I did not. To be completely honest, I wasn't even that upset about it, just disgusted more than anything. Plus, it's not even a good prank. But, Carl had been annoying me all night, and he made a point to make multiple loud shoutouts throughout the rest of the evening, to remind me and everyone else I smelled his shit-stained finger. This just made me realize how much I actually disliked him, and I started brainstorming ideas on how I could possibly return the favor and embarrass him in front of everyone, like he tried to do to me. I eventually decided embarrassing him wasn't actually going to satisfy me, plus most people had left by this point, but doing something that would actually disgust him equally would. So I came up with a plan and I waited patiently. I decided to crash on the couch that night and wait for everyone else to fall asleep to execute my plan, and around 5:30 AM I got up and went to the bathroom. I sat down on the toilet, put a flat layer of toilet paper in my hand, and then pooped into my hand. Luckily for me, I was able to grab the absolutely perfect little popcorn nugget of a turd, probably about 2 or 3 times the size of the candies you'd find in those assorted box of chocolates. Finally, I took this little popcorn nugget of a turd, and I placed it all the way up into the toe of Carl's right shoe, and then I left. I never did see Carl again, and I never heard anything from my friend about this, but I like to imagine that Carl put his shoes on, went about his day, and smushed the turd all the way up into that space of his shoe, where the toes just barely don't meet the edge of the inside. I like to wonder how long it took him to realize there was shit in his shoe. Sometimes I hope he never even realized it, but most of the time I hope he found it days or even a week later, and knew deep down that it was from me. No matter how it played out though, I can't help but smile every time I think about it because there's absolutely no winning for him in any possible scenario. I may have got stink fingered for a quick second, but Carl got a stink foot for at least a day, maybe even a whole week. Who knows, maybe he went on a date later that next day, thought he was going to get lucky, but ultimately disgusted his date with his poopy socks. Maybe he even threw out all of his socks because he couldn't figure out why they all smelled like my asshole. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day it satisfied me, and it still does to this day. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. But before you go, please like and subscribe for more. Not many of you at all that watch are subscribed or like the video, and this makes me unsure if I should continue to make more content or not. So if you want more content, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, please give me some feedback in the comment section about what I can do better, because not many people comment on my videos, so I have no idea of people's opinions of thoughts about this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have subscribed and liked the video, please consider sharing the video with your friends. Thanks and bye. I'm still doing daily uploads, so hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.